What's up? This is Dominique Beaumonte, and you are listening to Season with Salt, the podcast.
But there's this woman, her name is Tabitha Brown. Oh, you know her? Clap if you know her. Okay, good. I don't know her.
Y'all, I am starting this episode with the deepest of breaths. First of all, let me just tell you all how much I enjoy, or I used to enjoy, Wendy Williams. I'm going to talk about the conflict, if you want to call it that, between Wendy Williams and Miss Tabitha Brown. Then I'm going to provide some possible solutions to remedy this conflict for Wendy Williams. So first, let me tell you what happened. Miss Tabitha Brown, if you follow her, she is a queen of an influencer, a vegan influencer, an actress, a wife, a mother, an incredible woman, a woman of God. She made herself famous essentially by opening up her kitchen and showing us how to cook without meat. Along by her side is her husband of 23 years and what appears to be 3 lovely children. If you watch any of their videos, whether it be YouTube or Facebook, you know that her husband, Chance, is a police officer or was a police officer for the LAPD, the Los Angeles Police Department. It has been her goal to retire her husband from the LAPD through her own career, as it has been, per her words, his career that carried them through some very difficult times. And you know what those difficult times are if you have followed Miss Brown throughout her career. But they have a lovely relationship and a remarkable chemistry between the two of them. So this week, Tabitha Brown announced that finally she was able to do what she dreamed of doing, and that is retiring her husband from having to go and put his life on the line every day as a police officer in Los Angeles. Wendy Williams, a popular TV show host who essentially has built a career on gossip and interviewing folks and having great dialogue, pushing questions that others would not ask, has a show on television, and she opens that show with what she calls Hot Topics. In this segment of Hot Topics, she discusses what's going on in the world, what's hot, what's not, and she decided to create, or somebody on her team decided to create some dialogue about Tabitha Brown. Now, the first mistake that Wendy Williams makes is that she asks the television audience, as well as her studio audience, do you know Tabitha Brown? And then she goes on to say that she does not. Mistake number one, because whomever positioned you to have a discussion about Tabitha Brown's marriage should have shown you or should have discussed with you her overall influence. And so it's almost like the producers of her show put her in a situation that is really trouble because you don't even know her and you're talking about her. Okay. So she says she doesn't know her. She plays a small clip of Tabitha Brown discussing how she decided to retire her husband. Wendy Williams then begins her dialogue, and she says that it's not going to work. She says that as a result of the trauma that she experienced from her husband, her ex-husband, she does not believe it'll work. And then she goes on to prognosticate what that might look like. You invest money, it doesn't work. She starts talking about her ex-husband, Kevin Hunter, and she essentially says it is impossible. As a result, our girl Tabitha Brown says the following.
Hello there. Y'all all right? Very good, honey. I was up doing a little work here. That's why I got my pajamas on in my office. And then my phone started going off, like praising people. It's like, girl, you're Wendy Williams. First of all, Wendy Williams, honey, God bless you. God bless you. Okay. And so people sent me a little clip, and I said, oh my God, the pain this woman must be in. Wendy, the pain you must be in to feel this way, and I'm so sorry. But listen, let me tell you this. 23 years I've been with my husband. Yes. Broke for a very long time together. Struggled for a very long time together. Succeeded for the last couple of years together, right? My husband took a job in agreement with me. He took a job 15 years ago to help support my dream. And I know you may not know what that looks like in a genuine place, right? But this was an agreement that my husband and I had. And I told him 15 years ago, oh, babe, in 5 years, I'll be able to take you out of there so then you can pursue one of your dreams that you love. Right now, I was his dog in the fight, okay? And he believed in me. And we did it together for the last 15 years. I did every year with him at LAPD, and he did every year with me with rejection and no's in this entertainment industry, right? However, God has blessed me. He has allowed me to manifest. I've been praying on this for a very long time, and it has now come to pass. That is the power of God. It's also the power of allowing God to be first in your marriage, okay? And that is how it remains successful. We keep him first. He is first in our marriage, not money, not business, not success, but God. He's first, okay? So this is my prayer for you. I pray that love finds you, true love. I pray it finds you and it holds you tight. I pray that someone will love you enough to see you when you are not well, to see you when you need true support, to see you when you need compassion, to see you when you need kindness. I pray that somebody loves you enough to sacrifice their life for you. I pray that type of love finds you so that you can understand why. I don't want my husband to put his life on the line anymore wearing a bulletproof vest if he don't have to, and if that's not his desire. I love him enough that I want him to be safe, and I want him to coach children the way he wants to.
Were you blessed by this episode? Do you think it would bless someone else? It would really bless me if you share this episode with someone who you know needs assurance of God's promises. Also, I love it if you subscribe to my podcast, Seasoned with Salt, and wrote a review. This helps us to spread the gospel even farther through podcasting. Thank you so much for listening, and remember what God's word says in Colossians 4 and 6. Let your word be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man. Have a great week.
Seasoned with salt, seasoned with salt, with salt.
So that's Tabitha's response. And I've got to say that I think the world is buzzing. Everybody is saying, who could have read her any better than that? It was fantastic. It was righteous. It was heartfelt. It was pure. It was direct. There was no mincing of words. It was perfect, right? Um, and what it brings to the surface for me is the way, and I'm not going to get deep. This is almost over because I didn't want this to be a long episode, but it brings to the surface for me like how we pass trauma along. Like because it happened to me, then it can happen to you. And so I live through this lens or this bias that everybody's marriage is going to fail because mine did. Everybody's ex-husband is going to misuse money and talent and time because mine did. And it's dangerous because, well, first of all, these people are influencers. And Wendy, you owe it to yourself to do the appropriate research on people before you interview them, before you speak to them, or before you speak about them, so that you have the information that you need. You need to know people's story before you make an assessment of the strength and the duration of their marriage, because if you're only going to be viewing everybody's marriage through your own lens, then nobody's marriage is going to work. So it does bring to the surface the fact that we need to do an assessment of when we are transferring our own trauma on other people, especially when you're a person of influence and you have the capacity and the ability to help people or to affirm things that are happening in popular culture. Wendy misused her influence, and her team failed to communicate to her who she was talking about. And that's really bad. And so here's what I think is the remedy. I think that Wendy can get out of this by saying that she's communicated up front that she did not know who Tabitha Brown was. How that is, I have no clue. But she communicated that they're on two different coasts. So, West Coast, East Coast. We'll give it that. She communicated that she did not know who Tabitha Brown was. And so she was making an assessment based on her own bias, based on the short clip that her team presented her. So I'm helping you out. I'm turning on my PR person for the sake of salvaging the brand of Wendy Williams. You didn't know. You call Tabitha Brown. You reach out to her. You say, you know what? I really do apologize. That is not the person that I want to be. Yes, I have been that person my entire career, but I made a mistake because it's you. And you are the kindest, sweetest, most loving, genuine, creative, colorful, forgiving human being in the world. Come on the show. Let's have a healing circle. Let's go out for vegan soul food and let's explore the city of New Jersey together and let's reconcile, because I think reconciliation is important here. The other piece that I think is really, really important is for us to receive the word of Tabitha Brown. Because what Tabitha Brown is saying is that there is a certain kind of love that is sacrificial. And if you fail to experience that type of sacrificial love, you won't know what you were talking about when you're prognosticating about somebody's marriage and the duration and the potential of that marriage to last. And so I believe that there is an opportunity for some healing, not just between them as a result of reconciliation, because really this is not really anything. She put her mouth on Tabitha Brown and her husband. Tabitha Brown clapped back, and it's done, right? I mean, this is show business. These are all actors, right? We're helping to make this situation bigger than it really is because we're still talking about it. But I do think that there's a lot of healing that Wendy needs to have. And a part of the way that she has healed is by using the show as an outlet, right? And benefiting from the energy and the positivity that she gets from fans across the world who are supporting her and pushing her and praying for her because of a lot of the things that she's been through in the years that she's had this show and before. But now it's time to move to an escalated stage of healing where you are not the product of your past experience whenever you are deliberating about somebody's future. That's all I'm saying. That's really all I'm saying. I think that there's an opportunity for reconciliation. I think that Tabitha Brown is the perfect woman to have a clash with because the potential for reconciliation is so high and could be so impactful that it's what you want. It's like the perfect storm that results in like a beautifully watered and flourishing garden. That's my take. That's my take. That's me seasoning this particular situation with salt. Because I believe that there is an opportunity for reconciliation that can be so beautiful and can be the beginning of healing for Miss Wendy. And I think also a great lesson for her team as well. Before you do it, before you say it, before you write it, before you plan it, we need to make sure we have all the details.